Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renée Jordan, and today we're going to take a look at the Q&A section of the Black-Liberation.Tech website. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we have the Black-Liberation.Tech website. It is available in both English and Spanish. To get to the Q&A section, I'm going to hit more and scroll down to explore. And where we have careers, I will select Q&A. So let's go ahead and go to the next post in the Q&A. It's called The Messy Middle. Once again, another image created by Gemini. All right, persisting through the messy middle of the DIY hustle. Okay. So here's the question. Passing your prospectus was a major milestone, but you noted that the journey requires intense persistence to keep moving on up. For motivated students balancing heavy course loads, side projects, and searching for scholarships on a tight budget, the hustle can lead to burnout. What practical strategies do you use to keep your momentum and stay grounded when the process feels exhausting? All right, let's take a look at my response. This is such a real and important question because the messy middle is where many dreams get tested. The beginning of a journey often comes with excitement. The finish line carries celebration, but the middle is where deadlines pile up, money feels tight, energy runs low, and progress can feel invisible. It is where burnout quietly tries to move in. I know that space well. I know what it feels like to balance a full-time job, internships, academic demands, and financial pressure while trying to build something bigger than your current circumstances. It took me 7 years to complete my Ph.D., and that journey required more than ambition. It required intentional pacing, self respect, and endurance. So, if you are someone carrying responsibilities while trying to grow, please know this. You do not need to destroy yourself to become yourself. Here are some of the practical ways I stayed grounded and kept moving forward. Number one, give yourself permission to go part-time if needed. There is a myth that success happens fast to be valid. That is not true. During the fall of my junior year as an undergraduate student, I attempted to take 17 credit hours of demanding science courses all at once. The pressure became so intense that it affected my health, and I had to withdraw to recover. That experience taught me a lifelong lesson. Pace matters. Later, while completing my master's and PhD degrees while working full time, I intentionally only took 2 classes per semester. I respected my limits instead of performing urgency. Slow progress is still progress. A delayed timeline is not a denied future. Sometimes the strongest move is choosing sustainability over speed. Now, I'm going to pause here to talk a little bit about my courses at Bowie State. So, at Bowie State, while I was getting my master's of education, secondary education curriculum specialist, I was able to mix the classes that I took. So, I would take one full semester long course, and then I would also take one 8-week course at the same time. That way, by the time I got to the middle of the semester, I would be done with one of those classes. And then I could focus solely on that full semester class, and everything wouldn't be due at the end of the semester. So, what tends to happen is that, yes, you might have some assignments here and there, but those final projects, the final exam, the research paper, the big group assignment and presentation tend to be the last week of class or during the week of finals. And so by taking that 8-week class, I was able to get that class done and wrapped up and tied in a bow by the middle of the semester. So I say that to say, take a look and see what options you have in terms of the length of classes that you can take during one semester. So beyond saying, okay, I'm only going to take 2 classes per semester and essentially go to school part-time to earn my degree, how can I maximize the opportunity or the options of the length of classes that I can take in order to finish? So think about that. So once again, later, while completing my master's and PhD degrees, while working full time, I intentionally only took 2 classes per semester. I respected my limits instead of performing urgency. Slow progress is still progress. A delayed timeline is not a denied future. Sometimes the strongest move is choosing sustainability over speed. All right, number 2, schedule sacred time to do absolutely nothing. When you are dependable and driven, people may expect you to always be productive. Sometimes you may expect that from yourself, but constant output without restoration creates emptiness. During my doctoral program, I made Saturdays my recovery day. No papers, no deadlines, no guilt. Sometimes I would enjoy brunch, rest, watch television, or simply exist without producing anything. That kind of rest is not laziness. It is maintenance. Your mind needs silence, your body needs softness, your spirit needs room to breathe. Now, one day I decided that I had had enough. I had enough with work, I had enough with school, I had enough with reading, and I needed a break. I went to Home Depot. I bought 3 different colors of sample paint and I came home. I moved my furniture. I put a tarp, which was an old king size sheet, on the floor and I painted a mural on my wall. And I just cut my music on and I just let myself go and just paint, paint, paint. I want to say it took me about 10 hours. I did stop to eat. And to this day, I'm glad that I did. Some other projects that I did included replacing my microwave with just a straight hood. It went out on me, and I decided that it was something that I could manage. I have a brother. One of my brothers, I have 6, is an electrician, and so I verified with him and YouTube that I could put in this hood over my stove because I wanted to have that there instead of a broken microwave, and I did. And because I removed the microwave, that left more space on my backsplash. And so, you know what else I did? I went ahead and I got some tile and I got to tiling the empty space that the microwave left behind. And I enjoyed that project as well. So, when I say take a day to recover, that could mean changing things up and doing something that has absolutely nothing with your regular everyday responsibilities. Give yourself time to get into creative spaces. There are people who make coloring books that you might want to take advantage of. During COVID, I did facilitate 2 paint and sips with my family on Zoom and facilitate ordering from Etsy from some small business owners pre-drawn canvases so that we weren't starting from scratch because some of us have more talent than others when it came to painting and drawing. And so that way, everybody would at least have an outline that they could fill in the best way they could. And so that was definitely a good time as well. So I want to encourage you, if you are in something that is reading heavy, to do something that's not reading heavy, or switch up what you are reading. During my breaks, or not even during my breaks, I did jump in on one of my girlfriend's book club meetings. They were reading Becoming by Michelle Obama. And so I dedicated 20 minutes before and 20 minutes after work to read, and I was able to get through that and participate in their meetup and dinner and discuss the book. Another book that I consumed while I was in my PhD program was Just As I Am, a memoir. So Cicely Tyson's, and I did listen to that audiobook, and the narrator was phenomenal. I definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10. Recommend. And that allowed me to also make some adjustments mentally in terms of prioritizing things. And it's not that things were no longer important, but by reordering what was most important as a result of reading and reflecting on her journey, it allowed me to release the hold or the grip that I had on some things so that what I was doing became more manageable because I became more flexible. And so that flexibility is important when you're getting feedback on your work that you have spent hours on end working on, so that if you have to take something out, that's okay. I can take it out. It's going to help me get to where I need to be. Consider it gone. I need to pull in some other texts. I need to refer to someone else. I need to do more work as a scholar and dig deeper on this topic so that I can demonstrate my expertise as a researcher and as a scholar and demonstrate the level of rigor that I am using to complete my work. That's fine. I can do that. That is within my capabilities. And so I want to actually encourage everybody to read Cicely Tyson's Just As I Am. And if you have read it, leave in the comments your thoughts about that book and share any reflections that you have. That was a good one for me. All right. Let's keep going. Let other parts of you live. Rest does not always mean sleep. Sometimes rest means activating another side of yourself. Here we go. When I became drained by endless reading, writing, and academic intensity, I turned towards hands-on creative projects around my home, painting murals, installing fixtures, working with my hands, building beauty in physical spaces. You might sing, dance in the kitchen, garden, color, cook something from memory, learn a craft, write poetry no one has to grade. When one part of you is overworked, let another part of you shine. You are more than your deadlines. All right. I think that's good. Let's keep going. Number 4, break overwhelming goals into small, winnable steps. Sometimes exhaustion is not only physical, it is psychological. Looking at a massive to-do list can make the mind freeze. When that happens, I learned to break large projects into smaller tasks and mix in quick wins. Send one email, read 2 pages, organize one folder, edit one paragraph, submit one application. Momentum offers return through movement. Do not underestimate the power of crossing off one small thing. Sometimes one completed step can restart belief. And yes, celebrate the small wins. They are not small when they are hard to do. For those building while tired, stretching dollars, and carrying more than people can see, you are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to take fewer classes. You are allowed to protect your peace while pursuing your goals. You are allowed to succeed without constant suffering. The path may be slower than you hoped, but slower does not mean lesser. Liberation Lens. Grinding is not the only path to growth. Rest, strategy, and pacing are forms of wisdom too. Reflect mode. What part of your current hustle needs adjustment right now? Your pace, your expectations, your schedule, or your self compassion? With all that being said, thank you again for listening to another episode of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renée Jordan. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share, rate, and review the podcast to help it become more discoverable. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.